What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I'm here, got a brief video for you, a couple different topics that I want to talk about, some Dolphins related stuff, as well as some just general NFL stuff that I want to make sure to get out there and to let you guys know about and discuss and everything. Before I do that, though, I just want to quickly mention that I started yesterday working on my breakdown of the Dolphins' current roster. So here in the next day or two, I'm probably going to go ahead and make my video breaking down the Dolphins roster as it currently stands. And then I'm going to start working into, free agency and the draft and all of that good stuff. So make sure to check out all that out. But let's go ahead and get into the roundup of stuff. So first of all, let's talk about Tom Brady because he is officially retiring. Over the past couple days, let's just really quick mention that there have been reports on a number of different things that ended up turning out to be not true, or at least not true at that time. And I think you'll understand what I mean by that as I explain here. The first one being, I think it was yesterday that there were reports that Tom Brady was retiring, and then there was reports a little bit later saying that he had not officially given the Bucs word that he was going to retire. But he actually did officially retire today on his Instagram. So there is no more Tom Brady. He is now going to go do whatever the hell it is Tom Brady wants to do, but he will not be playing football anymore. That does appear to be a reality at this point. So, look, I gotta say, yes, I get it. He was a rival of ours, and him and the Patriots kicked our ass and fucking owned the division and so on and so forth. But I don't hate Tom Brady in the same way that most fans do, or Dolphins fans. Obviously, I have that competitive, rivalry thing or whatever. But hey, look, man, he put together a hell of a career. I do agree that, him and the Patriots, they have cheating ways, and, they engaged in cheating and some kind of shady things. So there is that. I agree. But if you want to make that point, but at the same time, he still does have 7 rings now with 2 different organizations, and he has put together one of the, most sterling careers that you will ever find for a football player, let alone a quarterback. So, congratulations to him and wish him all the well in his retirement, et cetera, et cetera. So I know that's blasphemy for Dolphins fans. I feel like a lot of Dolphins fans want to see something bad happen to the dude because they just hate him so viscerally, which I find to be absurd and abhorrent. But anyway, moving on from that. So that is a thing. Tom Brady has now retired. Some of the other things that I want to clear up, because I made a video yesterday doing some updates to the Dolphins coaching search. So I reported yesterday that Jim Harbaugh had interviewed with the Vikings. Apparently he hadn't interviewed yesterday, but he was going to interview, or it's scheduled for like today or tomorrow or something like that. But that he didn't interview, but they had talked to Jim Harbaugh, and he did express interest in the job. So we'll see how all that plays out. Obviously he's still a potential name for the Dolphins, and obviously my top choice. So we'll see how that plays out. Also, the other thing is they did not yet do their second interview with Mike McDaniel. That is actually scheduled for Thursday, as reports are coming out today. So, but hey, I wasn't the only one. And by the way, I'm giving these reports based off of the reporters that are reporting this, obviously, because they get the knowledge. So, hey, it's not me wrong. It's them being wrong. But I am wrong too because I reported it. So I do got to make the corrections. But Mike McDaniel has not yet interviewed. He will be interviewing on Thursday. So I think that's most of it. The other thing I do want to mention really quick is because like Bleacher Report and Twitter and blah, blah, blah is blowing up right now because apparently Brian Flores is suing the Giants and the NFL for racial discrimination because he didn't get hired as the Giants' new head coach. I mean, really, bro? Like, and there are a bunch of like text messages between like him and Belichick and stuff like that, and whatever, blah blah blah. There was also reports Brian Flores had actually also mentioned and made a comment that Stephen Ross in 2019 offered to pay Brian Flores $100,000 for every game that we lost because we were trying to get the higher draft pick in 2019. And I don't, or in 2020, excuse me. And I don't doubt that at all. I don't doubt that in the slightest, right? Especially because you couple that with the reports that we wanted Joe Burrow. We know that. That was apparently their plan B behind trading for Watson at that time. Dating back to 2019, but specifically, a little bit more specifically around the 2020 draft, the Dolphins' plan was get Watson. If they can't do that, draft Joe Burrow. If not that, then they'll settle for Tua. So not a surprise there at all. But a couple things. Well, the first thing is I'm not surprised that Stephen Ross would do that because obviously we were in tank mode. So anybody who tries to say that we weren't tanking that season or whatever, blah, 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 complete bullshit. Obviously, that's not the reality. It's a fact that we did. I mean, we executed all of the fundamental philosophies that institute a tanking approach. So, I mean, but then you add that into the mix and it's obvious. And the other thing I want to say about that real quick is obviously, just like I said back in 2019, it was clear that Brian Flores was trying to lose games, and not just with his involvement in personnel decisions and how he helped to build a roster lacking in competitive nature, right? Fielding a team that was basically a fucking expansion team, right? A team full of nobodies, backups, waiver wire guys, undrafted guys, etc., etc. But he also was trying to lose on game day, which I documented and went through and gave examples of and reasonings for back then. People wanted to fucking push back on me and all that good stuff, whatever, call me a hater and so on and so forth, because I pointed that out and be like, he would never do that. Coaches would never do that. Okay, bro. Well, when your owner is willing to pay you $100,000 for every loss, okay, bro. And it doesn't even have to come down to him paying. That's the dude that's writing your checks to begin with. And if he gives you the order, you're going to do it. By the way, just another quick side note, because I've heard people say that, oh, if Brian Flores really wanted Justin Herbert over Tua, he would have told that to Chris Grier and Chris Grier would have done it. Unless Stephen Ross, and they say that because while it's true that Brian Flores had a ton of say with personnel and he was part of the problem in that regard, and it's true that Chris Grier basically would fold to Brian Flores every time he demanded something. The one exception to that is if the owner says, no, I want Tua, which seems pretty clear to me is what happened, right? So, I mean, it's people trying to say that Brian Flores, that it couldn't be true that he wanted Herbert over Tua. No, it absolutely is. And simply saying that because he's such a control freak and always gets what he wants from Chris Grier, using that as a reasoning, that could be true if it wasn't for the element and the factor, the variable of there being a guy that's above both of them that can veto that shit and say no. And neither of them are going to fucking disagree. And Chris Grier certainly isn't going to fucking tell Stephen Ross, no, sir, I'm going to go with this guy and what he wants over what you want. That's not going to happen. Anyway, so constantly being proven correct and all of these things that I've been saying for the past 3 years, nobody ever wants to listen. People just want to call me a hater and all this, that, and the other. But, receipts roll in, bro, and time will tell, and the truth always gets revealed. And I am time and time again. Look, I'm not right about everything, and when I'm wrong about things, I admit that shit. And I have on a number of occasions when I've been proven wrong. One example is I thought that Flores and Grier would get fired this offseason. I was wrong about that. But I'm not going to, while I will absolutely admit to the fact that I am wrong about things at times, I am certainly also going to own the fact when I am right. And the fact is that the majority of the time, over 50% of the time, especially when it comes to my big picture analysis of things, I am 100%, not 100%, but over 50%. The majority of the time, especially when it comes to big picture analysis, I tend to be right more often than I am wrong. So I'm just saying, people don't like to hear it, but maybe they should start fucking listening for once. And then we can maybe possibly avoid all of this terrible, disastrous bullshit that unfolds after the fact. Anyway, I digress. So getting back to the other thing about how Brian Flores is a giant fucking baby and how he's now fucking... Bro, listen. You're still in the running for a couple different head coaching jobs. The Saints are interviewing him. He's a finalist for the Texans head coaching job, and the Giants interviewed you, bro. They decided to go with the other dude, and now you want to fucking sue them for? Not to mention, you just got done 3 years of being the head coach of a fucking NFL franchise. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This dude is such a giant fucking baby that... Now, to be clear, I'm not saying that it's impossible to imagine that there were racial, factors involved. There could have been. I mean, it's true that they hired a white dude over the black guy, but I'm just saying, like, there really isn't much of a case or a claim to say that the decision fell simply because you were black. Like, I mean, it's kind of a stretch, bro. Like, they interviewed you. You're still in the running for a number. So how are you going to sue? Because it's not just the Giants he's suing. He's also suing the NFL. Like, what are you fucking talking about right now? This dude's a giant fucking baby, and he just can't fucking handle it. He can't handle the fact that, he got fired to begin with from the Dolphins, but now he feels entitled to a head coaching job. This dude, and literally, otherwise, why would you be fucking suing? Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, he feels like it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a giant mess. Again, look, to be clear, because I don't know all the behind the scenes conversations. Sure, there is some probability that they were like, yeah, hey, he's black and we don't want him, and we're going to take the white guy. I doubt that was the case, if I'm being honest, but it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. But I think under this context and in this situation, it's very unlikely. Like, I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing right now? Like, this is outrageous. This dude is a giant fucking crybaby and he just can't fucking handle it. So anyway, I just wanted to get those things out there real quick. Just a little roundup of, NFL and Dolphins tidbits. So just to recap, Tom Brady has officially retired. There is interest between Harbaugh, at least reported interest between Harbaugh and the Vikings. They may or may not have actually conducted their official interview yet. I'd have to, I haven't seen anything on whether or not they had actually done the interview after receiving the reports that they had just talked to him. Mike McDaniel is scheduled for Thursday. Brian Flores is suing the Giants and the NFL for racial discrimination as to why he didn't get that head coaching job, even though they interviewed him, and he's still in the running for at least 2 other teams and their head coaching position. And there is also, he did kind of rat on himself and Stephen Ross by letting us all know that Ross offered him $100,000 per game in 2019 to lose. So, hey man, what an interesting day it is for Dolphins and NFL news, eh? So, anyway, let me go ahead and wrap this up. Before I get out of here, make sure I let you know about the Rave On Sports App, the new fan-driven sports app for all your sports, whether it be basketball, baseball, football, college, whatever you like, they got it, and they are looking to enhance your game day experience with live play-by-play coverage, live chats with other fans and content creators like myself, as well as providing you with an arena to dispute all of the terrible officiating. So make sure you look for the links to that in the description box. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. Of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at DillonTartaro, as well as on Instagram at Dolphins_with_Dillon. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.